This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace. Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we're your hosts. I'm Alexis.
I'm Grace.
And it's Grace's turn to totally mess with our minds today and attempt to walk us through the crimes and antics that go down in yet another episode of our new show. I guess not really new anymore, actually. We're 5 episodes in. But anyways, of Jabberjaw.
Yes.
It still seems new to us because every day we talk about this show, it's a new adventure. It's
new
a wild
world.
Ride. A new world, a new sea,
a new villain.
A new villain. Yeah.
Yes.
So excited to hear about what new things go down today in your episode. Great. Are you excited to tell us?
I am very excited to tell us. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And today you should be. Absolutely. Today I am doing the 7th episode of this, again, single season, one-hit wonder show.
One-hit wonder.
And yes, like you said, this episode, it's gonna be no different than our other ones. Wild, a bit unhinged, full of some wild speculation as well. Including some backstory speculation, which I'm glad we got Clamhead in last episode.
Yeah.
With his speculation. We've got a little more for some other folks today.
Okay.
And we start off today with what I think so far is the coolest undersea ship yet. Like the coolest submarine situation yet. It's green and yellow, but it's in the shape of like a very sleek, streamlined shark. So it's got like kind of like where like the windshield, front windshield is kind of like the snout and like eyes of the shark, and it's super sleek. But the coolness stops as soon as we enter the ship, because all of the ship's crew are, in like the normal like wetsuits that everyone wears in this world that are matching the colors of the ship. But on their hoods that they're all wearing, they have little shark fins, little dorsal fins, which is not intimidating at all. And it's even funnier because we can tell who the captain of the ship is because his dorsal fin is bigger than everyone else's.
Bigger. Yeah. Someone tried to staple a bigger one onto their helmet and he killed them. He's like tossed them off the ship.
Immediately just zapped them overboard. That's to like the shark.
To him. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like so big that it's like almost like a mohawk level of big. He also like has a cape or something so that he knows he's the captain. Okay. But also
and dramatic.
Yes, very dramatic. And again, the coolness of the outside of the ship stops because we're introduced indeed to this commander, this captain of the ship, and his name is Commander Shark. So,
oh man, is he? They're humans though, right?
Yeah, they're humans.
Okay, yeah.
Dressed up like sharks.
Poor boy.
Okay. Wannabe sharks, perhaps.
He no one has ever told this man no.
Yeah, that's absolutely the vibe. As we will see, like all of the villains, they're only surrounded by yes men. That's how all of these plots get so unhinged, is that no one says, let's sleep on it and think about it a little more overnight.
Imagine how insane this guy has to be to have henchmen who are willing to stand up and say, yes, I am a henchman for a villain named Commander Shark.
Yes,
like he has to like torture them or like be the most evil person ever, because why would you put that on your resume?
Yes, I would like a dorsal fin on my hood.
Yeah.
And also all of them kind of have flippers as in their their wetsuits got little flipper feet, so they're all kind of walking around like how you have to walk with flippers.
Yeah.
So
You
again,
just hear
like
like the
from
splatting and like
so
like
again from
throughout
the
the entire ship.
outside, very intimidating. As soon as you enter the ship, you're like, is this just a club? Like, is this just like a make-believe club? You all wish you were sharks? Like
Yeah.
what's happening here? But
Interesting.
anyways, the little sharky cronies milling about this ship are reporting to Commander Shark that their radar has honed in on the ambassador's ship. This is an ambassador of Aquatina, I guess. I don't know what country that's supposed to be. It doesn't
Argentina.
matter. Oh, yeah, probably. Great thinking. So,
Aquatina. That sounds like like a cocktail.
yeah, it probably is, honestly. And we learn here, of course, the plot pretty much up front. Commander Shark, as per usual, plans to overtake the undersea world. This
Mm.
time, it's the most straightforward plan we've seen thus far, perhaps. Even though it's arguably, well, they're all crazy, so they're really hard to accomplish. But like this one, like in reality, would be the hardest to accomplish in the sense
Mm.
that, you know, this shark gang here, these sharkies, their plan is to kidnap world leaders one by one, thus taking each city slash country slash whatever this undersea government situation is, one by one with each kidnapping. So like, yeah, kidnap like a leader of the country, hold it ransom, become their ruler. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like
Cool.
that's how like coups happen is just like
Yeah,
get the leader out of
essentially.
there. I'm the leader now. I'm the captain now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's Commander Shark's plan. It's straightforward. Great.
Got it. But like all of them, you said?
Hmm.
All the world leaders? Okay,
Hmm.
that's he's if nothing else, he's ambitious.
Put a pin in that question for a while
Okay.
later. Um,
Okay.
but
Will do.
we will address it somewhat now just by the question of like our previous ongoing question of like what the undersea world government is.
Mm-hmm.
Because in some places it's like a city council making congressional level decisions.
Yeah.
But now the way to take over Aquatina is to take the ambassador. I don't really know. It will come up later
Ambassadors
in
have
this
like no power.
episode. Yeah, so like it will come up like what like we'll get another glance at this world government situation, but needless to say, it won't help it make more sense.
Okay, cool. That's
Yeah,
fine, honestly.
we'll
I would rather
we'll
it
just get
make
more
less
confused.
sense than
Yeah, like every piece of information gets more confusing as if more information is supposed to help, but it doesn't.
okay, cool.
So
We will
that's
never
that.
paint a picture of
Yeah,
this universe that Jabberjaw takes place in.
it's honestly the most successful government ever because you don't know who's in charge ever. Leave them
Yeah, everyone that
wondering
works for the government's like, no one ever asks us for help because no one knows that
who
we
we
do
are.
things. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
kind of nice.
So we cut to the ambassador on his ship. He's having a meal with the ship's captain, discussing how much longer this trip will be. One of them kind of waves over, you know, their like server, whoever's bringing them their meal. And it's undoubtedly the worst server you could possibly ever imagine in your life. It's Bubbles.
What is she doing there? Okay.
She pulls up with an apron and a notepad to, you know, like kind of take their order back to the kitchen, saying, "At your service, Captain." And of course, whatever they order, she fucks it up. She
Of
haphazardly just like
course.
writes it down. As soon as they like try to correct her, she's already off back to the kitchen of this ship to give the order in, where we find the galley, the ship's crew being the rest of the Neptunes. We see Biff. Clamhead and Shelly all wearing chef's hats, although Biff and Clamhead are the two chefs, while Shelly very angrily is on dish duty and Jabberjaw is on cleaning duty. And to no surprise, they're all infighting. The documentary filmmakers are cutting, cut, cut, cut.
Yeah.
Who's yelling at
They're
who
like,
this
this film
time?
makes itself. It's beautiful.
Truly. Primarily, Shelly, of course, I will say rightfully though, is snapping at Biff that they wouldn't have to be working in the kitchen to earn our trip to Aquatina if Biff hadn't lost our tickets on this ship. So basically,
Oh, jeez.
as per usual, Biff had a plan, absolutely fucked it up immediately. It seems that this is like a public transportation ship, even though this high level ambassador is on it. Presumably the Neptunes.
He's an every man.
He's shaking hands, kissing babies, etc., etc.
It's like how they call Joe Biden Amtrak Joe. This is Sea Bus Ambassador.
Aqua ship ambassador.
Yeah.
And presumably the Neptunes got on this ship, and after it took off is when their tickets were checked, which reminds me of like old-timey trains. I feel like that's what it's always depicted as happening. Mm-hmm. But sometime between here and there, Biff lost their tickets, and instead of getting the boot, they offered to earn their trip and getting sent to the kitchens. One, I realized, where's the rest of the crew, the ship's crew? Did they just not have one? Or was it like, this is your minimum wage job and all of a sudden a great white shark comes in, so you just fucking quit that day on the spot? You're just like, no, I don't get paid enough.
I don't know what's funnier, the concept of them like not having a crew, like, well, we gotta go. Oh well. Or like them firing their entire crew because they're like, well, these people need to get on board. So
yeah, we don't pay them.
And we don't have to pay them. Exactly. So you guys are fired.
Yeah. That was my other thought too, of just like free labor, bye.
I think I like that they just didn't have a crew, actually. They're like, oh shit, I guess we did need one of those.
Of course you can earn your keep. You know how to turn on an oven? Get back there. But I also think Biff never had tickets to begin with. I think he absolutely lied to the band, being like, yeah, we totally have tickets, and absolutely just smuggled them aboard. Earning their keep this way was their plan B, but he was like, I cannot have a paper trail with my name on it of where we're going next.
Norkin Clamhead.
Yeah, Norkin Clamhead.
As past speculation.
Exactly, yeah.
Bubbles is like, please put my name out there.
Please, someone, I've been kidnapped this whole time. Please, someone care for me. No one has. So, yes, again, amid all this infighting, like I mentioned, this band documentary crew is eating it up, really getting these zoom ins on the drums when the ship suddenly starts swerving and rocking, and it seems like it's hitting turbulence. So the Neptunes all run to the window and they see actual sharks whizzing by their windows, some of whom are holding giant nets in their mouths that they're like dropping down upon the ambassador's ship. And when the nets hit the ship, the bottom of the nets have like almost like jet propulsion like anchors in them. So as soon as like the sharks like throw it on, it like juts down into the ground and is like bringing this like ambassador's ship down to the ground because it can't free it. Now, sharks with like essentially spear nets sounds pretty cool. Except these sharks are still a part of Commander Shark's crew, which means they're also incredibly unintimidating outfits. Because yes, these actual sharks have outfits on too. And dear listeners and viewers, come with me on this description journey.
Oh boy. Okay.
Picture this. a real shark. A real shark who perhaps in their day job of being a regular shark also is a male cheerleader.
What?
It's like
No, not like a cheer outfit.
just the crop top of it. It's like skin tight, like green and yellow. It goes from like behind their gills to their start of their dorsal fin. It's got two slits for their like pectoral fins, so they're side fins, but it's like a deep V. And again, green and yellow to match the rest of the crew, the rest of the team, Commander
Oh
Shark's
my
team.
God. I cannot wait to watch this.
I
Okay.
think Commander
Well,
Shark, I'm realizing now,
yeah.
is very lonely.
He spent so much time designing those outfits, obviously. He's like, if we're going to take over the world, at least my henchmen will look cute.
Yeah. And everyone will know we're a part of the team that I definitely was not picked last on in school every time because
I'm the
we all
captain of this team. They call me commander. It's like because he forces them to.
yeah, they're all kidnapped. All of this crew is already kidnapped, like ambassadors who are like, help us.
Yeah.
They can't get out of the crew. And also inexplicably that I do a lot of wild speculation in this episode, and
What we
it was
can do.
too much to even bother for this because every time we
You
see,
got proven wrong. Or like plot twist totally took you off track of your speculation.
well, here's the thing, it's like I couldn't speculate as to why this is happening. That every time we see these like actual sharks in this outfit, we hear like a jaguar roar. Like we see them and it's like in the background for no, it's only once per time they show up on screen, but it
You know
happens every
that
time.
the audio team was like, wait, didn't you say they're tiger sharks?
You know what? Thank you. This is our speculation about it because I could not figure it out. I love sharks. I did think about trying to figure out what type they were, but there was so much already in this episode I didn't bother.
Yeah.
That's the reason
But
why.
like,
Thank you.
but a tiger and a jaguar have like very different
Yes.
growls. I mean, I guess I don't really know what a tiger or a jaguar growl sounds like, but I know what a tiger one sounds like.
Yeah. And actually,
But
there's only like a handful of actual big cats that like roar and that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Um, yeah, anyways, it's a thing that I'm watching these cheerleader sharks who are growling like a jaguar throwing nets on a ship is what's happening. Okay.
Don't think too hard about it. It's like, why
And
are we talking about big cats on this show about a shark?
and if you're not angry enough about this already, Alexis, Bubbles' response to all of this is, wow, look at this circus act. So
Well, now I'm
they should
pissed.
they should if you weren't angry, now you're pissed.
Yeah, thanks.
And I will say, I think rightfully, Jabberjaw takes offense to this. He's like, sharks are not a circus act, Bubbles. So he
Good for
decides,
him.
yeah, he's like, look, those are my brethren out there. I'll go talk to them shark to shark, figure out what's going on. Why are they attacking this ship? So he swims out. And immediately these sharks start zooming at Jabberjaw, growling, of course, trying to attack him. And so he has to jump back into the ship.
Oops.
Immediately. Yeah, it did not go well. And
Yeah.
as Jabberjaw is flying back into this ship, being like, they don't like me. We are not friends.
They are part of a circus.
Yeah, correct. They could only be a part of a circus if they're being that rude to me. It could only be an act. And as Jabberjaw is getting back into the ship, we see Commander Shark and some of his shark cronies basically invading the ship as well and starting to go after the ambassador, who, of course, books it immediately away from this weirdly clad gang of people coming after him. So he runs to the closest door, which is the kitchen, which, of course, is where the Neptunes are. And without hesitation, they vow to help the ambassador. And he, not having anywhere else to turn, accepts their help, being like, you gotta hide me. We're in a ship. I can't just jump off the fucking ship here. And they just throw him like into a locker, like possibly a meat locker.
Oh.
And they go about like going back to their normal kitchen duties as if nothing happened. But of course, probably to no surprise of anyone, they are bad actors. So when Commander Shark and two of his cronies enter the kitchen, the Neptunes are like, wow, these dishes are so dirty. Time to mop the floor. Mop, mop, mop.
Oh my God.
So
it's Bubbles, who like has never had to do anything ever in her life.
she's like, I got this, everyone.
It's
And
like
of
holding the
course,
mop upside down.
like mopping the ceiling,
Yeah.
just mopping each other. So, of course, Commander Shark is like, where's the ambassador? And he gets out a laser gun. And of course, like idiots, they all start acting like they're now cleaning the locker that the ambassador is hid it in, which is just obviously like, oh, so he's in there.
No,
Like,
why would you say that? No, this locker has
no,
nothing to do with the
what
who?
the what?
What's
What
an
are you looking for?
ambassador?
Oh,
Which door?
we'll bring your meal out to you soon, sir. Please don't enter the kitchen. Can we help you? Which would have been the move, but no, instead they're like, clean this locker. And yes, the commander points the laser gun at them, and the Neptunes at this point are like, it's not worth it. So they move out of the way. And yes, the ambassador gets snatched by Commander Shark, and they go back to the ship. And why I know the attitude was it's not worth it is because when this happens, and like literally the ambassador being like, help me, as he's getting like dragged away by like these shark people, the Biff literally looks at the gang and is like, well, we tried our best. And Jabberjaw is like, yeah, no one can blame us that he got kidnapped. We tried. And like, it's kind of true.
There's bare minimum, and then below that there's what they did.
Right. They were like, we're not gonna get blamed for handing him over negotiating with terrorists. We're gonna have plausible deniability.
Exactly.
We got this. Which also I'm like, where was the security for the ambassador? But again, like you said, he's of the people. And then also it was just so funny that like maybe they're also like, look, we barely just got this kitchen duty job before getting booted off this boat. We need the ride to Aquatina for our gig. We cannot get mixed up to anything else. So the vibe is like, sucks to suck. Sorry.
We need this money. Although, imagine how much money you'd make for protecting the ambassador, but you might also die. So,
yeah. So at that
sucks
point,
to
yeah.
suck, ambassador.
Yeah, sucks to suck. Sorry. Are you the ambassador of Sucks to Suck Aquainia? Great.
Yeah. No.
Welcome.
No. Okay. Then
Well,
sorry.
bye. But unfortunately for them, they will not be able to move on as they were hoping to, because as soon as they arrive in Aquatina, they immediately get arrested for aiding and abetting Commander Shark's kidnapping of the ambassador. Like they are brought off the ship by like robo-cops and brought like straight to like a sheriff or like the commander or whatever. So
Where
yeah,
is
it
this?
didn't go well.
Where is the evidence for this? I need to see the warrant. Excuse me. Excuse me, officers. What are
Well,
you basing this off of?
pause that thought for a second.
Okay.
Because a few things.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing, which is not relevant to your comment or plot in any way, but for some reason, this like sheriff that the RoboCops are reporting them to, who's arresting the gang, is dressed as what I can only describe an 1800s colonial British man going to Zimbabwe for a safari. Like that is his outfit with like the little hard hat and everything. Uh-huh.
What?
Yeah, that's his fit.
I can't get a good feel for this underwater world. I really can't.
We
So much
see
culture and yeah.
we like briefly see like them getting off this ship and thus like bits and pieces of this country slash city. The rest of it just looks like a high tech normal like place. It's just a single man dressed like this. And
He was on his way to a costume party when he got called into the office.
yeah, to arrest these people for an international diplomacy emergency.
Yeah. Yes, like meet the ambassador looking like this.
Exactly. This is like his country's formal wear
Yeah.
or something for like formal events. So, um, what is relevant to the plot though is that everybody starts yelling about their innocence and that they were trying to help the ambassador. But
Yeah.
this 1800s colonizer man is not hearing it until, and I hate to tell you this, Alexis, but
Uh-oh.
you and Shelley were on the same page. That Shelley says, "Where is the evidence? You cannot hold us. And in fact, I can prove that we're innocent."
Yeah. Hate her, but she's smart.
I know. See, she's kind of like the only brains of this operation.
Yeah.
And she's mad about it all the time, I think. She's like, I'm so mad with these idiots.
Surrounded by absolute morons.
Yes. And a couple more things here on
Mhm.
that exact note, because this stops everyone in their tracks, including me. And it made me start thinking about a previous theory of yours and now a new theory of mine. Your theory being, are the Neptunes somehow connected to aliens, right?
Mhm.
I think we've established Biff and Clamhead are not. They've just been in a lot of underground, seedy mob and organized crime violence. But
Mhm.
in this moment, I realize Shelley. Shelley, who can't
What's her story?
stand these humans and sharks so much, who
Yeah.
knew how to answer questions about aliens in the alien episode that you did, who
Mhm.
randomly changes her outfits in a flash and seems so much smarter than everyone else. I think she might be down here on Earth to do recon for her alien planet, and joining this
Mm.
human band is her cover. And this is why she's constantly mad and impatient with everyone. And like, look, she is so mean to everyone in the band all the time. So why would they keep her in the band? Also, all she
Yeah.
brings is the tambourine.
Yeah.
That's it.
Useless.
Useless member. I think her alien abilities are the ability to sway people who are perhaps of feeble mind to do what she wants.
Hmm.
Because we've
Hmm.
seen multiple times Jabberjaw suggest a plan and then Shelley say no, and they all go with her plan.
Mm.
And again, I don't think it works on everybody, but again, the weak minded perhaps.
Yes.
So again, my theory now,
Interesting.
she's doing long recon for how her planet can come to rule this underwater world. Because
Yeah.
again, wherever alien planet she's from has this ability to sway people easily. And I think it's why she's always down to fight the bad guys. This is her planet to eventually rule, not theirs, which she did say to aliens before in your episode.
Yeah.
Like, get
Yep.
off, this is my
Yeah.
turf. I think she meant it.
Mm-hmm.
And I
She was
think,
she was not acting.
yeah, she was like, back up, bro. I claimed this
We
territory.
claim this. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think even more so, this is the case because when Shelley says they'll prove their innocence and can do so in the next 24 hours, the colonizer, British guy, agrees. He says, okay, great.
Who knew it was that easy? Take
Yeah,
lessons in police interrogation from Shelley. Just like, oh, I'll give you your evidence.
exactly.
Give me one day. Okay, take the cuffs off, guys. Let them
Yeah,
free. Back on the
you just have
streets.
to be a kind of mean alien who has the ability to very persuasively sway people who are more dumb than you to do your bidding.
Yeah,
So they
get
allow
on it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, okay,
That's
sounds
hilarious.
good. And so, yeah, to your
Like,
credit, to your question of like, where is like the warrant and that kind of stuff, Shelley doesn't give a fuck. She's like,
yeah,
I got this.
right. I've got the evidence. Um, Concerning though that like because if they are guilty, this is a very serious crime. So like if the police chief is wrong about this, then
Mhm.
like how dumb is he gonna look in the future if he was like, okay, go ahead, come back
Yeah.
tomorrow.
And they never come back.
And also like the first 48 hours are the most intense hours when you have to find somebody who's been
Hmm.
kidnapped.
Hmm.
Okay, don't
Yep.
like just give up 24 more hours. Like, okay,
Don't
yeah,
just
whatever.
give up 24 more seconds after you have your first suspects and
Yeah.
be like, huh, phew, you're going to take this over absolute number one suspects or at least star witnesses. Great.
Great. Oh, you mean star witnesses slash suspects need to go get evidence of something and we're giving them 24 hours? Whew, awesome. I was
Of
starting to get
their
worried about the schedule's
definite
busy work.
innocence. Yeah, about the amount of paperwork, international paperwork I was going to have to do.
Yeah.
And
Whew.
I also think in this moment, Biff and Clamhead are like, phew, because obviously they don't want to get arrested either.
Yes.
So they're on board with Shelley's plan of like, yeah,
Good,
we got to
good.
plant some evidence. I mean, prove our innocence around the evidence.
Dot, dot, dot.
I mean, what?
Classic slip.
Yeah, classic. You didn't hear anything, colonizer man. We got to go. And they run off.
What was that? No.
Yeah, who said what? So back in Commander Shark's ship, or actually maybe his like headquarters now is where we are. The
Okay.
ambassador is being held obviously prisoner and is yelling at Commander Shark, who's sitting up on like some, fancy throne situation. The ambassador is saying, your plan will never work. It will require more sharks than are in the whole ocean to accomplish your plan. Which I have a lot of questions in this episode
Yeah. Let's hear
because
him.
our this once simple plot of just let's kidnap everyone, let's kidnap all the world leaders, thus I will be the world leader,
Yeah.
was too straightforward for this show.
You're like something's off.
It was too common sense for this
Yeah.
show. So before we hear the whole plot line here, one, to this ambassador's statement of you would need more sharks than the whole world's oceans have to accomplish your plan. So, like you said way earlier, how many world leaders are there
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
in this
What?
world? Like thousands, millions,
Millions? I don't
a
know.
hundred? I don't know. Is it like every
Yeah.
city has a leader who needs to be kidnapped?
Right.
Are there
Every
like,
country,
yeah, are there
every
like
more
coalitions
than
of
that.
cities? You can just
Yeah.
kidnap the head of that. Like,
Yeah. What are
what,
we
how
talking here?
many?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
how
there are a
many
lot of
are there?
sharks in the ocean.
Thank you. That is my next question is why would it take
Okay.
so many sharks? Like there can't be that many world leaders. So like are sharks extinct by 2076 almost? Like that's
Mm.
why it's so
Ooh.
wild because
Maybe there was a crusade against them, and that's why people hate Jabber so much. Okay, I'll stop talking.
here's
Go ahead.
a fun real life fact for you. Did you
Yeah.
know that every year there are or how many, I guess will be my question. How many sharks do you think get killed because of humans every year?
Oh God, way more than sharks that kill humans. That's for
Yes.
sure. I don't even
Yes.
know. Hundreds, maybe thousands around the entire world. Hundreds.
73 to 100 million sharks get killed every year. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep, because
Wait,
it's
wait,
like
wait, wait, wait. 70, say that number, 73
73
to
to 100 million sharks. I learned that from Tooth and
holy.
Claw. Get killed
Okay, nice,
every
nice.
year from humans, from like
Okay, 70
fishing
holy shit.
bycatch type of thing. Like, yeah, running like encounters with humans, mainly like, yeah, just our impact on the oceans are horrible, and we are killing
That's
off all of our
insane.
sharks or like using sharks for like shark fin soup and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. So it is kind of plausible that in just 50 years from now, in 2076, sharks could almost be gone.
yeah.
So
That's a lot. I didn't realize it was
is
that many.
that
Holy
fucked?
shit.
Yeah.
That is a lot. This is calculated.
Uh,
The
Commander
crusade against
Shark.
sharks. Yeah. He's like, I must be the only real shark.
I am the leader of all the sharks.
Yeah. You
But
see these real great whites? Great whites, their fins are bigger than mine.
I don't
Kill,
think
kill
so.
them.
But I will
Yeah.
say, actually, contrary to that,
Yeah.
Commander Shark has thought this through. And I will say he's not a monster because he would never take sharks from the wild. He knows they're at
Mm-hmm.
the very least wildly endangered. He would, again, never be taking them from the wild like the heathens of the early 2000s are. Hi, it's us.
Mm-hmm. Hi,
We're
hello.
the problem. Instead, he explains as he shows the ambassador his lab and his lair that he
Mm-hmm.
has created a machine to create sharks, which is why he's not worried about having enough sharks. Which at
Okay.
first I was like, this is cool. This is
Mm-hmm.
some Jurassic Park shit. Like, you are going to save the oceans, sir. But then he goes
Okay.
on to say he's creating sharks by transforming human beings into sharks.
Oh shit. Okay. Wow.
And
Great.
thus, here comes the more complicated plot line, which
Mm-hmm.
basically he is going around transforming humans into sharks. But this technology he's invented, they are able to retain their human cunning and intelligence, becoming more powerful than 100 regular sharks. So
Oh God.
basically, that he's going to build this army of sharks that'll be more powerful than anything and to thus be able to take over all these places. But interestingly, he says these sharks he transforms, humans to sharks,
Mm-hmm.
are also able to breathe air.
Oh Jesus.
And we arrive now at our second piece of wild speculation, which
Mm-hmm.
is this where Jabberjaw came from?
Ah.
Was he the prototype? And then
Yeah.
something happened and he ended up with amnesia and went rogue a la Jason Bourne.
Uh,
I don't know why I keep assigning action movies to this show, but I need it.
because this is an action-packed show.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
To me, Jabberjaw entered the Neptunes because one day he woke up from whatever happened. He found drumsticks in one hand and one fin, and like Jason Bourne, a passport that said Jabberjaw. And he assumed this new identity as a drummer.
Turns out he like had
And
just killed someone with those drumsticks,
they were super bloody, but
covered in blood.
he didn't
He
remember
didn't know that.
why.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think all of the villains they get mixed up with not only are a part of the larger plot to take over the world, but also a part of a larger plot to take down this now oblivious great white shark, essentially ML or MKL Ultra
Yeah.
agent Jason Bourne slash Jabberjaw. Even more so, because interestingly, Jabberjaw is able to immediately take them to Commander Shark's headquarters to
Mm,
find the ambassador. Yes, he does some
interesting.
hound dogs sniffing around. He asks some sea
Okay.
creatures to directions, but I think a memory deep within was
He's been
stirring
there
up.
before. Yeah.
Exactly. He knows. He knows this lab. He knows
He
this
knows.
headquarters. Something's
Yeah.
awakening inside of him. And we do indeed see the lab that Jabberjaw has brought the gang to.
Mhm.
It's bordered with like huge electric fences. It has patrol sharks everywhere ready to strike. So, of course, they need to figure out how to enter the headquarters without getting caught. Also, again, I have a lot of questions about this episode. I'm like, how are you going to uncover what evidence are you finding to prove that you're innocent?
Yeah,
Because you're going straight to the headquarters of the crime, which makes you look like you're in cahoots with the criminal.
it also, yeah, not good. Like if they're being tracked, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
look, the police were like, oh, look, they're going literally to the person who we think told them to do this.
Yeah.
Um, their evidence is like, we're gonna get this Commander Shark himself and get him to admit to all of it. Like, yeah, that's worked so well for you guys in the past.
Right, exactly. I think the vibe is like, no, we'll just double kidnap the ambassador back, bring
Yeah.
him to the authorities and have him tell everyone. But if I was the ambassador, I would be like, these people shoved me in a locker until Commander Shark arrived and then did nothing when the locker was open. They just handed
Yeah,
me over.
they essentially told Commander Shark where they hid me
Right.
and then didn't do anything to save me after
Right.
giving me up.
They cornered me so he could find me. And the next time
Yeah.
I see them is in the headquarters of
It's
the
like,
guy who
no, I
kidnapped
think that
me.
they aided and abetted in my
Yeah,
kidnapping.
right. They're absolutely guilty.
Yeah, they're
A hundred
accomplices.
percent.
Arrest them again, please.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad they came back. Got them.
Yeah. Thank you for allowing me to tell my side of the
Yeah,
story.
exactly. And Clamhead has an idea of how to distract all the sharks so they can slip in without getting noticed by them and attacked by them. Because as we saw earlier, they are down to attack a great white shark. They've got the
Yes.
numbers here, et cetera, et cetera. Kind of scary. And Clamhead's whole plan here is something that I'm like, this made it off the writer's room floor. How
Okay.
and whomst. But, you know, I think it does make sense perhaps now that, yeah, Clamhead was, the doctor at the very least for some organized crime rings, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the time, you know, IRL organized crime, like not the type you see in The Godfather, like is mixed up in a lot of like uh I guess like the world of sex and like big business in porn and that kind of stuff, because
Where are you going with this on this children's
this is
cartoon?
why I said, how did this make off the writer's room floor? Because Clamhead gets out what he calls the inflatable female diverter shark, and it's
Oh
literally just a blow up
no.
doll, but a fucking shark. He
I was gonna
inflates.
say, why does Clamhead have a shark sex doll? But
Yeah,
I get it, I guess actually.
yeah, yep, yep. He's
I hate
like,
that I get
oh,
it, but I get it.
yes, exactly. He inflates it. It's like a curvy lady shark with lipstick, I don't know, maybe some hair, and she's like shaking her hips and moving and like blowing kisses at all of the male sharks. And in a moment that I wish I never experienced, frankly. Like I need some eye bleach of something to help me through it afterwards.
Did you happen to take down the timestamp of when this happens in the episode? I need to look away or skip.
No, because I
Oh
blacked out.
God. What the fuck?
But
Okay.
again, big mob business is big sex business. So yeah, I was like, this is
Oh
just
yeah.
standard issue for the mob.
He
Welcoming
probably
package,
had
perhaps.
he probably yeah. Welcome to the club here. Or like,
Yeah.
thanks for getting those bullets out of Fat Tony last week. Here's we got something we got something nice for you.
Right. As they pulled up and saw all this, Clam had opened just like a doctor's bag and was like, do we want to do this the easy way and had the blow up doll or the hard way and had like a sawed off serial number erased shotgun, untraceable
Which way you
bullet.
guys want?
And
Let's start with the blow doll. Let's start with the blow
yeah,
up
Jabberjaw was
doll.
like, "You can't kill other sharks. I'm a shark. Like this is too far, Clamhead."
True, true.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
Wow. Okay. This
that's a
show.
moment that
I
happened.
we wish it didn't.
That again, I was like,
But it did, and we can't go back.
exactly.
Um, I
Yeah.
noticed that during this show, there's a lot of points where both of us just like stop and pause before we say something.
And
Like,
that's how we know it's about to get
yeah,
inexplicable.
exactly. It happened right before you talked about that blow up doll. So just
I
know,
think,
yeah.
I think it's because for
I
me,
had
I
to
have to
like get
like,
comfortable in my seat. I was like, oh God, here we go.
I think for me, it's because I have to like center myself in order to get the statement out because otherwise I would just never be able to say it. I have to like focus, Grace.
Yes,
You have to
fair.
get through these next 10 words because I've never thought there's like a subreddit called Brand New Sentence where it's like just outrageous things people say. And I think a lot of our descriptions for this
Fall
are
under
brand new
that.
sentences. Yes.
Yeah, things we never thought we'd say, and here we
Here we
are.
are.
Okay.
So inexplicably that happens, and more so in unexplainable mysteries ways. It works. All of the surrounding
Okay.
sharks, and even for a moment, Jabberjaw, get distracted by this hottie, apparently, which thus allows the gang, the Neptunes, to just kind of sneak by these guards and head straight for Commander Shark's lair. Because again, does Jabberjaw deep down know the layout of this lair? I think yes,
Hmm.
because they very easily find this ambassador. Somehow Jabberjaw has directed the Neptunes to some type of like catwalk that's above some of like the kind of like warehousey parts of this layer.
Yeah.
And Jabberjaw is like secret agenting himself down from the catwalk, essentially like lowering himself down like a jewel thief and like
Except he's massive.
snatches. Yes, exactly. But he like snatches the ambassador up basically by like is like scooping him up and like
Uh-huh.
covering his mouth so he doesn't obviously start fucking screaming and like
Yeah.
starts very again swiftly and silently like a secret agent picking
Mm.
up the ambassador.
Okay. Going well so far. Oh, nope, there's a sigh.
Who do you think this sigh is for? Because you said it was just
Uh,
going well.
oh man. Bubbles. Fucking
And
idiot.
then Bubbles fucking sneezes, which knocks everybody off the catwalk
Oh
to the
shit.
ground, setting off alarms absolutely everywhere. Because yes, it was Bubbles. It was going so smoothly, and then there was just Bubbles bubbling, if you will.
Bubbles got a
As she,
bubble. They
as
they
she
want to
does.
get rid of her so badly. Like, why will no one take the ransom? Beth is willing to go into debt to pay that
Yeah.
ransom off.
Yeah, they're like, we'll do anything. Our last
Yeah.
assets of this band, we don't care.
Yeah.
Have her, take her
Please.
back. Someone.
Yeah, we'll pay you.
Yeah, we'll pay you to take her. And
Her family's
her
like,
parents,
no, we're rich. We don't need it.
yeah, we don't want this, thank you. This, not her.
Her,
This.
their daughter.
And after a brief soundtracked chase scene, the Neptunes, who indeed, yes, freed the ambassador, who is running away with them, are able to find some escape pods in the building. Again, did Jabberjaw know where these were and to use them before in a previous
Mhm.
escape? Probably. And they zip away. And for some goddamn reason, they're in two separate ones. In one, it's Shelly, Clamhead, and Jabberjaw. And the other one, it's Biff, Bubbles, and the Ambassador. And they're like, gearing up and like zooming out of the layer in these escape pod aqua cars. In maybe their hustle and bustle, they all jumped into these cars, and Biff was like trying to like get the ambassador in there. For some reason, Bubbles is driving one of the cars.
Well, this isn't going to go well.
And she literally immediately they like just barely leave the like electric fence situation, and she has not just broken the gears, but has somehow ripped them out. Like we just see her look at Biff holding like the stick shift and all of the gears required, and
Am I
is
doing
like,
it right?
literally, yes, that essentially. And they just careen into the seafloor. So that happens. That was their plan. And meanwhile, Shelly is driving the other Aqua car, and they are the ones being pursued by the guards. But she, in this chase scene, unfortunately crashes it straight back into the building that they had just escaped from. Which one, maybe she's an alien and doesn't understand this human tech because this is the first time I've seen
Mhm.
her drive. But two, like you mentioned in our first episode, this show really doesn't do anything good for women, since in the
No.
span of 15 seconds, both of these women we see cannot drive cars.
Ugh. Lasai, 1970s
Sigh,
cultural norms. Yeah.
Jabberjaw. And unfortunately, where Shelley crashed was right into Commander Shark's lab, and they easily
Mm.
take the three of them, Shelley,
Oh,
Jabberjaw, and Clamhead,
never
prisoner.
mind.
Yeah, no,
I
it
was
wasn't a
like,
good
it
thing.
could be fortunate. She could have destroyed the lab, but also no, they're prisoners
Yeah,
now.
they immediately could take them prisoners.
Yeah.
Yes. Like they
Had
essentially
potential.
crash and
Crashed
like
very
just
badly.
right into the prison, essentially. It's like right there.
Yeah. They just parked the car in the cell.
Yeah, get launched out from the crash
Yeah.
and tumble straight behind bars. But the loss of the ambassador doesn't really shake Commander Shark too much, because now instead of having one human to turn into a shark, he has two new humans to turn into sharks,
True. This is true.
and a great white shark now who's prisoner, and
Yeah.
who maybe, just maybe, looks familiar, but he can't quite place how or where he knows this talking, air breathing great white shark, but somehow it
It's like that's
seems
weird.
familiar to him.
It's like, I could have sworn I created every talking, air breathing great white shark ever to exist.
But this one,
Interesting.
I just can't
Can't
quite
quite put my finger on
place.
it. Yeah.
There's something special about this one. And so we see Shelly and Clamhead get locked into like these tube-like devices, essentially as clear tubes. And we see Commander Shark pull a lever, and we see basically them get like these huge like electric shocks go off. And when it
Mm.
finally dies down, they're sharks.
Oh, that was quick.
It is just a pull of a lever in one of these tubes, you become a shark. And
Wow.
also, hilariously, instead of being the like sleek sharks like before, they're animated like Jabberjaw is. So not like
Oh.
huge like he is, and they're not like blue and white like he is. They're gray, but they have like the huge noses, the huge like upper body, super tiny, like
Tiny
triangle
fin.
like shape.
Yeah.
Also, so we can keep them straight, they still have their human clothes on
Oh, good. I was
somehow.
worried.
Yeah,
Not the V-necks, not the deep
no,
V-necks.
not yet.
Dang. Oh,
They
oh.
haven't gone to cheer school yet. You have to graduate
Yeah.
first from Bring It On Academy.
They were just born one day at a time, one day at a time.
Exactly. Yeah. Clamhead's hat is still on. And
Of course.
Shelly has
I get
lipstick on.
we got to know who's who.
How else would we keep them apart? Um,
Yeah.
Also, honestly, Jabberjaw is like not freaking out. I think he's like kind of
Huh.
happy that his best friends are now sharks like him.
It's like God, life is going to be so much easier now. Now we'll all be discriminated against when we go places. Now we'll
Yeah,
all have to stuff ourselves into suitcases and hide in luggage when we
yeah.
travel.
Especially like you, Shelly, who's abused me so much as like being a shark, like getting your comeuppance, my dude.
It's like that book. I don't know if you ever read it or heard of it, Black Like Me. the white guy who like had a procedure done to like add pigmentation to his
Oh my
skin
God.
and like document the experience. And he
Oh
did
my
it as like a
God.
social study on racism in America. It's like Shelley now has to be a shark to understand what it's like to
Understand it.
live life like a shark. And then
Yeah,
she'll
this
be
is
way nicer to Jabberjaw.
exactly.
Like write policy papers on how to eradicate shark phobia.
Right, when she takes over this world with her alien race, sharks will be
Yes,
uplifted as humans then
they
get
will.
downtrodden
They'll be like
upon.
lords. The sharks will be like
Exactly.
lords underneath
Yeah.
them.
And then like Clam, or he's just happy that Clam has a shark because it's his best friend. So
Yeah,
he's like,
exactly.
cool, we can hang out even
Cool.
more.
Nice.
But there's no time to waste. Commander Shark has decided, he is a little upset about the ambassador being gone simply due to, again, he was like, well, I got two sharks now instead of one, but, I did want to take over your country, so I do need this ambassador.
Fair.
But he was like, let's rewrite the plan. If being a villain is nothing but being flexible, we're going to
Mhm.
skip ahead about 89 steps and go to the main launch phase of this plan, cluing us into the fact that he has been doing this, I think, for a while. He does have some type of shark army, as we saw,
Mhm.
because we're jumping ahead to the main plan here, which is to use the shark army to storm the equivalent of this undersea world's United Nations meeting and kidnap
Gotcha.
in one
Yikes.
fell shark swoop all world leaders at once.
Okay, that I mean, like,
Classic.
that's a good way to get it done, I guess. Like, if you're gonna do
Exactly.
it, like
Yeah,
that has
stop
to kind of be
drawing.
your plan.
Yeah, stop drawing attention to yourself by doing one
Yeah,
by one.
exactly.
Get them
That's
all in
tough.
one swoop.
And then it becomes predictable. You create a
Exactly.
trail, a path, a pattern, etc. Like, no, just get them all at once.
Yeah,
Do
like
it.
if
The
you're
risk
sitting
is higher, but the
here,
reward is
yeah,
greater.
high risk, high reward. We're gonna have
Yeah.
to do it at some point here. And Commander Shark knows how to take risks. Have you seen his
Hmm.
fashion risks?
Have you seen his fin?
They're paying off. Coming to a runway near you.
Near you.
Fall 2024 runways. All
Commander
shark
Shark,
fins.
all of his henchmen, like in their flippers, like
Flopping down
flopping
the
down. It's so loud. You like hear
runway.
this high bass music, but just like the over top of
Yeah,
it.
it's definitely club scene, gritty, et cetera, et
Hmm.
cetera. But you know what? Again,
Yes.
high risk, high reward. All press is good press. So, Shelly and Clamhead are, of course, freaking the fuck out that they're sharks, and that they're basically being put in this shark army.
Hmm.
Commander Shark sends them off to kind of the shark army where there's basically a shark boot camp going on.
This is
And
how you
like,
get your green and white V-neck.
this is their cheer camp.
Yeah.
Ready? Okay.
Okay. Sharks flying through the air, through the
I
water.
little
Yes.
pom-poms in their fins.
A pyramid of sharks.
Sure,
Sounds
it's cold
terrifying.
in here. There must be some sharks in the atmosphere.
They're like clapping with their little
Their
fins.
fins. um,
Yes.
but unfortunately, it's not happy-go-lucky cheer camp. It instead is low-key terrifying. It's a bunch of sharks like succeeding in an obstacle course of like
Oh no.
swimming in and out of like a bunch of like challenging, I don't know, just like, swimming in and out of tires, like getting over obstacles, ripping
Oh.
things to shreds. It's like,
Camera just pans over and shows a shark like ripping apart. Like, yes, the training is going well.
he's like ripping apart the pom pom of like the opposing team.
And the team, like member of the opposing team,
Right, the pom
like
pom's all that's
limbs
left.
flying.
Like I don't remember the teams from Bring It On, like the two schools, like the
The
Clovers.
Clovers are one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the
I
other
guess
one.
everyone
But
remembers like the evil team. No one remembers the
which I mean,
heroes.
Clovers, they're wearing green. They were obviously the
Exactly.
more fun team. And so yeah, that's
Yeah,
absolutely what's happening. He's just ripping to
exactly.
shreds the other teammate. We see like the sharks doing like a little cheer pyramid
It's like
on
the
top of each
difference
other.
the difference from like a cheer pyramid jumping through tires and then like ripping apart someone.
A human body.
Yeah, this is what yeah, this is what sharks train for. Normal.
Give
Cool,
us a
cool.
D. So, yes. Also, as a side
Cool.
note, do you remember? So, context for everyone, both Bert and I went to the same all-girls high school. Do you remember that one of the cheers would be from like an opposing like co-ed school? They'd be like, "We have boys," and then our Catholic school
Yeah.
would be, "We have Jesus."
Yeah. I think
Uh,
we won.
take that.
But
So
also,
yeah,
like, what if a lot of co-ed schools are Catholic?
I know.
What if they were like, so do we?
They probably were.
Like, damn,
They're right.
we have cookies?
Send in the sharks.
Yeah.
Get
Um,
them.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, because it's very funny that Shark Commander Shark's colors are green and yellow because yes, our high school's
Our high
colors
school
were
color.
green and yellow or green and gold. So this whole time I am imagining them in like our high school like jerseys or something. Yeah.
Also, isn't it like bring it on and then bring it on like
Yeah.
again? And then this is bring it on again, again.
Underwater.
Underwater.
Yeah.
Bring it underwater.
Yeah. Yes.
Go, Commander Shark.
Yeah.
There's like
Versus the
an arm
Neptunes.
sticking out of his leg or out of his mouth.
Out of his mouth. Yeah. But
Um,
wait, but he's a human, right?
oh no, it's talking about one of the army sharks.
Oh, they make
Yeah, yeah,
Commander
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Shark.
they were cheering for Commander Shark,
Got you.
their team
Okay,
captain,
nice.
obviously.
I see. Cool.
Uh-huh. But this is like a wide open cheer camp situation.
Oh,
So,
okay.
uh, Clamhead, Shelly, and Jabberjaw just swim away. It was like an open air boot camp, cheer camp situation. Like,
Like that's not our scene. Let's
yeah, one
go.
of the there was like a fight near the pyramids, being like, Becky, I get to be top of the pyramid, pushing her off. Shark fight starts, and the like shark like referees have to
Shark
come in.
fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so they just straight up swim away. And they're
Okay.
able to pretty easily find the downed aqua car that Biff is trying to fix because Bubbles broke it. And we know Biff
Hmm.
knows cars. And as they swim up, of course, they all scream because Jabberjaw and two unknown sharks are suddenly speeding at them.
Yeah.
But of course, they quickly realize it's Shelly and Clamhead in shark form. And they explain what happened and they explain the plot to mass abduct the underwater UN meeting. And the ambassador who was headed to that meeting tells them where it was, aka Aquatina, and basically says,
Oh.
like, you three sharks will get there faster. This car is fucking broken because of bubbles. Y'all need to get there ASAP and warn everyone.
Hmm.
So, yes, Shark Shelly, Shark Clam, and always Shark Jabberjaw zip off through the open ocean to get to Aquatina, which they do. And arriving in the city, they skirt the robot guards, the shark ejectors,
Hmm.
and because they're three sharks, they're able to bust into this meeting and break directly into kind of like the main gathering, which, of course, everyone starts fucking screaming because three
Yeah.
sharks just launch themselves into this like high security meeting.
Yeah.
Robots start swarming the room to take away these three sharks. And as they're being dragged out of the room, Shark Shelly is screaming, like, no, you don't understand. You're all in danger from Commander Shark. Don't take us away. You'll be sorry that you've done this. You'll be sorry. Which, like, when replayed in court, will not make them look
Not
more
gonna.
innocent.
No, 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 no. Although I guess they don't
They're,
really know it's her. I will. They can find out. But yeah,
yeah, either way, like, this mission to prove her innocence is not going well.
it's
She's
not.
going to have to alien sway a lot of people that was not a threatening statement
Yeah.
against a room of world leaders.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yep. So they go back to Biff Bubbles and the ambassador to be like, eh, they kicked us out. What are we supposed to do now?
Now what?
Yeah. Um, and Biff, Bubbles, and the ambassador tell them that while they were gone, they watched Commander Shark and all of the shark armies swim out of the headquarters, this electric fence to layer thing, and that this horde are all on their way to Aquatina. But this also means that the building is empty. So, first plan of action is they go back in, and in the lab, they switch Shelly and Clamhead back to being humans.
Okay.
Of course, Shelly and Clamhead are very stoked about this. Jabberjaw, I think, is sad and dismayed. And I imagine, again, something deep within him is stirring when he sees this. Like, there's a reverse button. Why do I care about a reverse
Wait.
button?
Yeah. Huh.
Huh.
I never thought about if I were human.
Human.
Huh.
Huh.
Anyways, what were we talking about? Yeah. Like forgets again.
Shakes it off.
He woke up with
Jabberjaw. That's my
amnesia and
name.
now he has short-term memory loss. So he's like,
Exactly. Yeah, it's
okay,
just
on to the next thing.
ongoing. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like we've seen that throughout so far with Jabberjaw
Yes.
constantly.
He does
It's a
not
big
learn,
head
that's for
injury
sure.
that
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Um, and so now with this empty building, the armory is also unmanned. So they
Oh,
go on
great.
in, they grab some spare spear-ended nets that we saw at the
Oh.
beginning. And Biff is able to grab Hotwire, one of the other Aquapod cars that were there, and they head in the direction of the shark army. Of course, with Biff driving, not freaking Bubbles, they're able to not only catch up to this giant shark army, but to lay a trap in which basically they start dropping the nets onto Commander Shark's ship this time. But as we saw earlier, the actual sharks know how to rip through shit. So they just start ripping all of the nets that they brought with them and just shredding them. And now these real sharks are now chasing the Neptunes.
Yeah.
And while, because they were also all like, they got into their scuba gear to deploy all of the nets. So
Yeah.
all of the cheerleader sharks are chasing down the humans. And in this moment, I think Commander Shark from his main ship realizes why he recognizes Jabberjaw, because he starts exclusively going after Jabberjaw. I think he was one of the original experiments. Previously, as a human, Jabberjaw was one of the undersea world's most exclusive, elusive agents.
Ooh.
Commander Shark kidnapped him and turned him into a shark in order to have him be one of his agents, but he was too powerful. He didn't just turn into a regular shark. He turned into a goddamn 15-foot great white shark with secret agent training.
Yes.
So
oh no.
He was able to escape while still, again, retaining his human memories, which we do know happens when you get turned into a shark here. And in a blaze of glory, he escapes. But this is now too dangerous. This agent is now triply dangerous because he's a fucking shark.
Yeah.
So the world governments go on high alert to track this down. And the commander didn't recognize Jabberjaw at first because the shark who escaped, the shark he knew, wasn't this fucking dopey ass shark who doesn't have a good memory, plays the drums, but was once a killer. And
Yeah.
it turns out is still a killer because
Oh
again,
no. Oh
Commander
no.
Shark is just tailing Jabberjaw. And so Jabberjaw, thinking quickly, zooms into a giant cave, which the ship follows him into. But being much more agile than a ship, Jabberjaw zooms back out of and like throws boulders in front of the cave, ensuring that Commander Shark and his whole crew can never get out again. And then we cut to the Neptunes getting thanked by the UN. So presumably, Commander Shark and his crew are slowly starving to death in this
Yeah,
unnamed
that's
cave.
torture. He doesn't
Yeah,
just kill them, he tortures them. That's a
yeah,
slow, horrible death.
like a
Like,
well-trained agent would.
this is true. This is true.
Hmm.
He's like, technically, I didn't kill any of them. They're all going to kill each other from starvation and wanting to eat something and just anger and mutiny in this trap situation and loss of oxygen and dehydration.
Exactly. Yeah,
None of those things are
Jabberjaw.
called Jabberjaw.
He's like, Jabberjaw's like, my fin prints are on nothing.
Aren't on it.
Yeah. He
My fins
looks
are clean.
he
All
looks
of
down
our
and
hands are clean.
realizes that his fin prints have been burnt away a long time ago.
He's like, my fin prints are clean because for some reason I've never had them. And he like tries to remember. It's
And
like,
he
that's
only gets
weird.
flashes of like pouring acid onto his fins, which is like a quick flash and like a shiver down his spine.
I also imagine that he gets random flashes of like being on assignment somewhere. And while he's waiting for the mission to begin, he's like in some hideaway place just watching episodes of the Three Stooges and fucking what's it called with Rodney Dangerfield like over
Yeah.
and over. And so that's
Yeah,
why
like
he
in his
always
like
just sounds like
sniper's
Curly.
like
Yeah,
nest.
yeah, exactly. Like that's all the only entertainment he has. It's like stuck on those two shows over and over.
And it's exactly what he was watching when like a rival secret agent like was finally able to sneak up from behind and like smack him in this shark form as
Giving
like,
him the, yeah,
this is
the
the
head
only thing he
injury.
remembers.
He's like
Yes.
stuck in a loop. Yeah.
So really the takeaway, well, okay, I guess I'll finish of like, yes, they're all given medals of being heroes of saving the UN. They play a gig right there, which I imagine they're like, great, thanks for the medals. It's our time to shine.
Biff is like, guys, now get him out.
Yeah,
We've practiced for this.
exactly. So that is how it ends. But I think our main
Okay.
takeaways are yes, just the fact that it would seem possibly everyone in the Neptunes is a criminal of like
Our
some
main
variety.
takeaway. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or has less than great motives, we'll
Yeah.
say.
That
Because I
like
guess being
very
an alien in Shelley's case isn't, okay, that's not a crime, but
but
clearly
she
her
like
goal is to take over the earth.
exactly like the band the Neptunes is truly just a cover story. So they all have alibis at all times. But Bubbles is so dumb that she does think it's a real band. And like they accidentally got really famous and like yeah, it's just been falling apart again. Like their cover stories are all
Day by
like,
day.
yeah, like slowly disintegrating because the band is falling apart. They can't keep up their star power. Like the
Yeah.
pressure of a double life is just getting too much for all of them at this point, except for Bubbles, who's been living one life the whole
Who
time.
has no clue actually, no, this is who I am.
Yeah,
Um, and yes, obviously all their double lives is kind of how you said earlier, how they always wind up where criminals are and villains are, because
exactly.
half the time the criminals are like actually trying to take them out. And they,
Yes.
yeah. You're like, man, you're right. This is getting a little stressful to keep up this whole thing. But then the authorities always think they're superheroes because they stop the crime. But it's because it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of thing.
Right.
Like, no, these are two evil groups fighting each other. The Neptunes are horrible people too, but the police don't know that. So they're just like, they're they're taking down the baddie of the week, so I don't care.
This is so fucked, but it's essentially like the US is like war, quote unquote, war on drugs, aka like flooding our streets with drugs and letting gangs fight gangs. Like they'll take each
Exactly.
other out.
Yeah,
We'll keep the flow going. It's like why they didn't arrest
exactly.
mobs for so long, like all of this
Yeah,
stuff. They're just like they'll
right.
take care of themselves somehow here.
Exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
we'll win out in the end. It's fine. And if
Yeah.
not, they'll pay us to like get away with stuff. So hey,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It's a win-win
We'll
for all
take
of us.
bribes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe actually they keep Bubbles around because like she's the only one who like can give them plausible deniability because she is so stupid that like she just
Yeah.
doesn't realize that like everything they're doing has like an undercurrent of crime and like ulterior motives to it. And so that's why they're also so desperate to hang on to the band, is because they're like, if
Yeah.
this band falls apart, all of our covers, man, they're all fucking
They're
blown.
blown.
They're all out of
Yeah.
here. And I think that's also why Shelley doesn't do a solo act, is because she's like, I need them. I need these
Yeah.
fucking idiots to help me do my recon. Like,
Yeah.
it's too hard in a solo act. Like, I
I'm
gotta
lost
have
without
them.
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
The plan
exactly.
cannot go forward without them.
Yep.
And they're too dumb
So,
to realize it, man. Well, great job.
so thank you. Thanks for sticking with that very episode that was mainly speculation and a lot of questions.
That's fair. I mean, we have to just work with what these writers give us. They're not giving us much. Like, we have to speculate and make up what these characters' lives are about because it just wouldn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense. But
They gave us a blow up shark doll.
I forgot about that almost.
That is what they gave us this episode. That's where we're starting at here. So, yeah. Yeah.
And he called it a male shark distractor too, right?
An
Like it was
inflatable shark deceiver or something like that.
just, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You know
Mhm.
what? Good for those writers getting that in there. Clear. There was no review process of these scripts. Clearly, I
No.
mean, because
Yeah.
the episodes would make some bit of sense if there was.
No.
They were
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, you've got something that we can put on TV and put ads on. Cool, pop it
Yeah.
in.
Pop it on there.
We're doing
Yep.
it. We're going. Let's
Yep.
go.
Fuck around and find out. Let's go. So yes,
Yeah,
so that was this week's episode.
excellent. Great job.
Again,
Great job.
thank you. Thanks again for
Mhm.
everyone for sticking with me through that. I was in it was a wild situation. We got through it. And next week will be our 100th episode, which is very
Yeah.
exciting and very special. And we're very
Yes, and hard to
honored.
believe.
I
Yeah.
know it feels like it's gone very quickly. And so
Mhm.
we'll be doing a very special episode. Won't be a Jabberjaw. We will return to
Mm-mm.
finish our Jabberjaw arc after episode 100.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you only have to go a week without this.
We're essentially what happened was we were like, we need a week off from this show before we finish, and
Use
we're sure
this
you
as our
guys do too.
excuse.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yes,
No.
no, we
But actually it doesn't hurt either, though. Gonna
yeah, I
lie.
mean, not mad. I'm not mad that we don't have to spend our 100th episode anniversary with Jabberjaw.
Trying to decipher an episode of
Yeah,
Jabberjaw.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yes, next week will be a very special episode to
Mhm.
celebrate our 100th episode. We think you all will be
Yes.
extremely excited. We think pretty much all of you have seen what we will be covering, most likely.
Mhm.
Um,
Probably.
it is in every moment iconic. We're
Mhm.
thrilled about it. And between now and that very special 100th episode, who should our listeners and viewers tell about this podcast?
Um, this week, man, these episodes always distract me so much that I like can't even think back about like, God, what happened in the episode? Who should they
Mhm,
tell?
mhm.
So I am going to say this week, tell a shark trainer.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there's some famous ones or they're on like Instagram or X or whatever the hell now. So, and I'm sure that Commander Shark had to probably hire at least a couple of shark trainers to run that cheer camp.
Yes.
So, yeah. He turned them into sharks so that they could then better train sharks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good.
Who should they tell?
I think after that, you should tell some cheerleaders who you know. Like, did you know some cheerleaders in high school? Did you know folks from Bring It On? Like, who, what, where, when, why, how? If you know a cheerleader, let them know.
Yours is better than mine because people are way more likely to know cheerleaders than they are shark trainers.
We don't know. We don't know that information.
Yeah, I don't know your life, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Amazing. Well, we'll see y'all next week for our 100th episode.
100th episode.
Cool. All right, we'll see you then.
Till then.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.